but yeah, harkening back to what you were saying about attraction, it's really important for people to realize that they are much more powerful than they realize. People it's not just about metaphysics, quantum entanglement, things like that. It's just about how you see yourself too. Is a whole journey. I mean, the reason people do subconscious reprogramming, subliminals, hypnosis, they do it because they've told themselves a story about themselves through limiting beliefs that is not true. You no one If no one really holds you accountable, whether it's a therapist or a spiritual healer, no one says, is that true? Are you really unlovable? Do you really have evidence that that's true? You just keep the loop going. And so
Mm-hmm.
these things like psychedelic and these different therapies are the hard work. It really allows you to kind of look inside and go like, wait, am I running a program that doesn't make any sense? And that's what I had to do, is I had to think like, you know, why can't I go be a world famous musician? Someone has to be that person. And then, it's cost me a substantial amount of money to fund this music career, but at no point have I had a level of reticence. I've just sort of plugged ahead, and I do feel like nothing else matters because I found my purpose and I found the flow and I found my connection to why I'm on earth, and I know now how to harness energy, but I don't speak in ways that I used to. I don't say I'm sick. I don't say I'm about to get sick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say there's a cold coming on. I
Mm-hmm.
don't say I don't have enough money. I don't say these things. And I don't do
Yeah.
it from a delusional framework. I do it from the framework of starting to understand that everything is energy. And we know through observing particles that they change. So if you're going to observe your reality in that way, don't be surprised if that's what shows up.
Wow, I love that. We speak the same language, Jordan. I think it's such a subtle, just positive mentality. I mean, I have a 13-year-old daughter, so just the basics. But yeah, so much is about perception. And I think that's one thing that mushrooms have really um, taught me to understand. Even within my journeys, I can get a little caught up on, I don't know, some negative something rather. And it's like the mushrooms are, there's the acknowledgement, but then at some point, how am I going to perceive this? It could either be this negative thing I'm not going to be able to transmute and just kind of shove it back down, or it's like sit with it, work with it until you perceive it or in a new form or manner that's not negative. So it's that whole observer effect is quite fascinating.
Yeah, I've had that experience, but I've also we're talking about like just these patterns is they're going to keep showing up until you break them. So,
Mm.
You will attract the same pattern in people in, say, your romantic life until you learn the lesson that you are worthy and you're not going to accept this type of behavior, and it's a loop. But
How do
be
you
conscious of it, right?
love to talk? Are you currently dating?
Uh-oh.
I'm just talking in regards to, it's such an exercise in mirroring, right?
Sure.
So, I do not want to talk about my dating life, but my
Oh,
point is,
I'll
okay,
talk
here we
about
go. But
it. No.
I just find you attract exactly kind of what needs to be seen or illuminated in yourself, and
Yeah.
you can work together to grow or run. But anyway, yeah, I'd love to hear anything you have to say regarding maybe dating and being more aware. I'd love to hear it all.
Um, One of the things about being a songwriter is that you tend to write predominantly about love and relationships, whether that's falling in love, falling out of love, the nuances, the middle ground, all these different things. And so I try to live in the present, but what's been difficult is writing these songs is you have to revisit moments, specific moments that flash in front of you at 2 a.m. that I'm singing into my phone. And you have to go back to them. And, my teacher said, look at them from the observer effect, because what you're going to do is you're going to re-traumatize yourself over and over as you're writing these songs. While you're writing them, you're singing them, you're producing them. I have always been fascinated about love. I have had it's kind of been one of those things in my life that's been difficult for me because I couldn't control it.